Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Super Ninja Austin here on the 48th episode of the SNA podcast. This is the NXT review part 7. Let's begin. And we're going to start off with the finals of the Heritage Cup. And I'll say, yeah, this was a really good match. I was like, if they didn't have the contract signing segment, I would say this should have been the main event, on my opinion. Or unless another match, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. And I'll say, before I start off, I just want to point out that this where have Tuesday go? Like, it was just Tuesday morning. When I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, it's a new day, and it feels like 12 hours haven't even passed. Like it feels like if it's not even past 5 hours. It came and gone, and even NXT just came on and it went off. Like, it just had me shocked. I was like, how in the living hell that it just came on and came on, even though it was like 9 minutes longer than it would be, but it just came on and it just came on for not that long, and it just went off like nobody, like if it's nobody's beeswax. But anyways, let's begin with. It's the finals of the tournament, the invitational tournament for the NXT, the NXT Heritage Cup to take on the current champion, Noam Dar, for his Heritage Trophy at this Saturday's NXT No Mercy. And this is when Butch was ready for the leader of Gallus. This is where he started locking his arms like two bulls locking their horns with one another. And then this is when the fans said, "You got witch slap, clap, 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 clap. You got." And then they didn't say witch, but I'm trying to keep this a little bit more PG as it should be. But anyway, this is where Butch started grabbing onto Joe Coffey's arms, nearly bending it, and also Vic Joseph pointed out that they main evented the first ever NXT UK Takeover Blackpool pay-per-view back 4 years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago, or was it? No, I think it was like either between 4 or 5 years ago, back in 18 or 19. I believe it was for the NXT UK Championship before Butch dropped it to Gunther when they were Pete Dunne and Walter at the time. And I remember watching that NXT TakeOver in New York when I watched on my Motorola the night before I watched WrestleMania 35. But let's move on. This is where Butch started doing a hammerlock right on the floor. This is where he kneed him right in his arm. This is where Joe Coffey slowly and gradually walked back up. This is where he started holding on to his arm. This is when they start twisting their arms to try to see who's going to win the hand grabbing contest. This is where he started stretching his arm and started started trying to stretch the back of his elbow, or arm, I should say, and try to twist it back. This is where Butch counters, Irish whips him right into the, or not, I'll say push him right to the bottom side of the turnbuckle, bottom right side. This is where we saw a huge right hand from Joe Coffey and started kneeing his chest right onto his chest through the canvas. This is where he swings him around and hits him with his headlock with Butch laying flat on the ground. This is where Butch gets back up, counters, push him right on the other side of the ropes. This is where he ducks and leapfrogs. And then this is where Butch did another. This is where Butch does another leapfrog or duck. No, it was a duck. This is where he tried to close on him, but Joe Coffey blocked him like if he was some wrestler of steel or something, yeah, or the Man of Steel, like if he was Superman, and then he just super tackled him, right? Super shoulder tackled him like if he was nothing but a stop sign. And then this is where Joe Coffey started doing this Gallus hand crossing pose, arm crossing pose like this. And then this is where, for bulldozing the bruiserweight, this is where Butch started hit the right hand. This is where it hits him with an arm slam. This is where Butch hit him with a double knees right into that exact same arm and started standing on it and started mocking him and started doing his pose using it against him. This is where Butch grabbed on and bent his fingers and then bending his elbow and arm back. That's when he stomped on it, and this is where Joe Coffey was screaming in agony and legitimate pain. This is where Butch hits him with a step up Insta-Giri right through the bottom left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where he got up right on the top rope and started walking and stepped on the exact same hand and fingers that he started annihilating. This is where Butch started doing an arm bar right onto the arm. This is where Mark Coffey distracted the referee, so Mark Wolfgang can hit a huge right hand, a cheap huge right hand right onto Butch, and they thought that would work because Joe Coffey got back up, but instead of just taking advantage of the moment, this is where he does his finishing move, or I believe his signature move, which is the German suplex, but Butch flips out of it like any wrestler would do in a reversal kind of situation. This is where Butch got ready for him. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline. Joe Coffey expected that. He ducked. He hits Butch with an elbow. This is where he hits a double springboard crossbody, but Butch hit him with an intercepting right hand, and then he go for a pin, he go for one, he go for roughly one with two, but he kicked out. But he kicked out right after two at the 2.1 pinfall attempt. This is where he started looking directly at Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, mugging them because he knew what they did, like in a dishonest manner. This is where Butch was like, you know what, forget it. Like, and then he goes up right on the top rope and hits both Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, give them a little taste of their own medicine. And then this is where Joe Coffey tried to go for a clothesline. This is where he ducks. He hits him with the German suplex. This is where Butch steps on his hands. He hits him with that swinging roundhouse kick that connected directly right to the upper and the back head. This is where the rest of the Gallus members try to interfere in the match, try to get in the match because they got mad that he hit them with his signature. With his signature top rope moonsault, this is where the referee spotted him. He was like, "Hey, you can't get up, get down from the." And then he ejected both Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, saying, "You and you, get to the back, like get out of here, like we don't need you here interfering." Like you, like, and then he ejected after the fans started cheering. This is where what every single typical heel would do, like. A heel faction would do if they got ejected into the match, which that was the smartest idea from the referee to do that. This is where clean, you clean.
I clean dishes.
You cleaning dishes? 1 second. Hey, Grandpa.
Clean. I'm cleaning the dish. Oh, go ahead.
She's doing okay. All right, Julie. I don't know. I think she's in the kitchen cleaning the dishes. Like, you see, cleaning She's cleaning dishes in case if they have dinner tonight. They can cook out. To clean the dishes when they're trying to make dinner. Yeah.
I did bowling.
These Yeah, yes, sir. He's over here right in front of my webcam. Doing the
Clink.
Don't say hi. Come here.
Okay.
Come on, Tree.
This my. I don't want my cup.
Is that how to great grandpa?
I want my cup. I don't. Yeah, I can. I try.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
What?
He's playing with his cup, his little teacup, and drawing his little chalk onto the teacup. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah. It's okay if I call you back in just a minute. Thank you so much, Grandpeasy. Yeah. Talk to you later. Yeah. It's great to talk to you tonight. Yeah. All right. Okay, SNA back. Anyways, back to this is where they got both Wolfgang and what's his name Mark Coffey got ejected out of the match. Got out of the match. This is when it was a fair man-to-man fair fight, and this is where my prediction came true about this tournament. Excuse me, Trey. Uncle Super Ninja Austin. Uncle Super Ninja Austin's trying to recap tonight's NXT. But anyways, let's see right here. Let's see. We're gonna move on. Get to the point. We're gonna. Okay, let's see right here. This is when Butch tried to do the triangle choke. This is where he counters him and buckle bombs him right to the bottom right corner of Tina, the turnbuckle. This is where when both men crashed on the ground. This is where. Let's see right here. This is where we'll see. Let's see. This is where he started hitting Joe Coffey with the 10 beats to the bat. 10 beats to the baton, I believe, or brawl. Oh yeah, the 10 beats to the brawl. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. With the NXT fans started chanting with him. This is where he started bending his fingers. This is where he hits. This is where Joe Coffey hits Butch with a devastating headbutt, which he probably felt he's gonna feel that even tomorrow and even next week and even this Sunday at No Mercy. This is where you try to go for some kind of a power bomb right off the hardest part of the ring apron. This is where Butch counters it and hits him with a DDT. This that looked very brutally dangerous. And then this is where Butch comes back in the ring. This is where he tried to hit him with a right hand. This is where Butch countered, hit him with a right. This is where Joe Coffey tried to go for another one. This is where he hits him with a flying European uppercut. This is where Butch was still standing. I was like, I don't understand how is he still up like this. This is where Joe Coffey go for a double dip crossbody splash. This is where he tried to go for his which I think I meant to call this German suplex, this rolling German suplex, his finishing move, which I thought was a signature. But he finally execute the move like it would do, like it does in every wrestling promotion. Like if you don't get the move, if you don't successfully execute the move, like the first time, the second time is gonna be a guarantee, or the other way around, it could be. You successfully execute the first time, the second time it could possibly be countered. But this is where Joe Coffey was in the corner. This is where he was waiting for Butch to get back up so he can hit his running finishing move, which is a running shoulder plane right into Butch, which he landed crashing right into the the turbo. This is where he tried to run and try to do another move. This is where Butch kicks right in the midsection. This is where what's his name? Joe Coffey hits a discus lariat, but he intercepted with a step up instigiri. Hits him right in the arm and the head. This is where Butch got the advantage, but this is where Joe Coffey somehow, some way, like out of nowhere, gained enough strength to hit him with a running clothesline or lariat from hell. And then this is where both men were down. This is where Joe Coffey tried to go right to Butch's corner. This is where he tried to go for the pinfall, but he tried to go for a 1. Referee goes 2. And he kicks out. This is where he tries to reach for Butch. This is where Butch twitched his arm and started hitting an arm lock right onto the leader of Gallus. This is where Joe Coffey lifts him up and hits him with a powerbomb, counter to the armbar. This is where Joe Coffey tried to go for another Scottish shoulder block, plain shoulder block. This is where he successfully does. This is where he tried to go for a discus clothesline, which it made him did like a 3. No, I'll say a 1. I'll say a 180. Yeah. Made him did a 180. This is where the referee went 1. The referee went 2. This is where Butch kicks out with another 2.9999999. 101 away from being 3 count attempt. This is where both men were down. This is where. This is where Butch throws Joe Coffey back in the ring. This is where he finally hits the bitter end right onto Joe Coffey. This is where he goes and pins him. This is where he gets the 1 and the 2 and the 3. And my prediction came true. Trey, you get out. You looking at the camera like that. But anyways, stay right here.
No.
Yes. But this is where. Here you go. You better promise you'd be good if Uncle opens this. But anyway, like I said, it's going to be Butch taking on Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup, because for the fact they want main roster superstars making appearances on the white and yellow brand more often. And it's going to bring more ratings to the 18 to 49 demographic. And it'll be getting more higher and improving. Whether if Butch wins this or not, this is probably perfect for the NXT No Mercy they have in the mid-card division. But yeah. And who you think is going to win? Do you think Butch is going to pull off unexpected victory, or you're going to see Noam Dar in a predictable situation of him retaining his Heritage Cup championship trophy? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Yeah, that's what we're going to see this Saturday on my brother's birthday, which I'm not sure if y'all are supposed to know that. But, yeah, it's going to be live in Bakersfield, California. It's going to be the Bruiserweight Butch taking on the Scottish 11 Supernova, Noam Dar, for his Heritage Cup trophy. And I think Noam Dar's going to win. He's going to brag on how he's going to brag how he beat the most main roster, which rhymes with brain, the main roster superstar, and he could beat anybody in WWE with his trophy. Yeah, let's move on to the next. Let's move on to this backstage interview with the current NXT North American champion. this is where Mackenzie Mitchell asked him this question right here, saying, like, who's going to be your next defense for the NXT for your NXT North American Championship at No Mercy? And he's like, I don't need to defend the championship at this Saturday because I already did yesterday on Raw against Dragon Lee, and I'm probably going to go, and I am going to relax and probably watch it in Mommy's big couch in her house. And then this is where Mackenzie Mitchell reminded, or not reminded, more likely noted to noted to Dominic Mysterio that Shawn Michaels announced there's going to be a No More Contenders match, which I believe it was a 3-way, but it somehow turned into a 4-way. But yeah, you're going to see exactly why this is going to turn to a 4-way when I explain it. But this is where Dominic Mysterio's like what the hell? What do you think he's are? Who do you think he is? First, it was already bad enough that Adam Pearce had me wrestle Dragon Lee last night on Raw, and now Shawn Michaels want me to fight this Sunday, and this Sunday or not Sunday, Saturday. I'm getting too used to WWE used to having their pay-per-views on Sundays, but yeah, this is where he stormed out of there in a pissed off mood, saying Shawn should not be disrespecting me. I'm the champion. I'm like, yes, so in order to be the champion, you gotta be on your word and be on your ground, and so you are a real champion by defending the championship any day. And you can't just be champion and think you're gonna defend it on one day and then skip the other wrestling event to not defend the championship. Use that as an scapegoat. But yeah, and into his character, of course. But anyways, what do you think about this? About this rumor being true about the replacements of a replacement opponent for Dominic Mysterio for Mustafa since Mustafa Ali's no longer in WWE. According to BWE said, which I'm gonna get to that point. It's gonna be the exact wrestlers as you can read on the wrestling news article that there's gonna be four. There's gonna be four different kind of replacements they're gonna have, which they're gonna be in the No More Contenders match, and one of them's gonna win and replace Mustafa Ali. But yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna up next. We got some Trick news. Not Trick Williams. Trick Williams up next. We got Trick Williams taking on, or before that. And this is where we got a segment with Tony D'Angelo and Stacks, the current NXT Tag Team Champion. And I hope that didn't disrespect you guys for not announcing it until the last minute. My apologies in advance. Your current NXT Tag Team Champion, Tony D'Angelo, and his partner in crime, Channing Stacks Lorenzo. This is where he invites the Los Lotharios into a dinner. And then talk and discuss some things about a future tag team match. This is where and then this is where they tell him that little stunt you did, y'all did. Do you think he's gonna happen again? And he's like, we're starting. We didn't come here to. We're not gonna try to eat from out of y'all's plate on y'all's table. As I know, we got a 6-course meal bowls full. So we good enough to share. This is where Angel Garza's like, this is the reason why we came to dinner with you guys. When Steve started looking and pointing out their double strap NXT titles, and then this is where he's like, and then this is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo was like, what you need is a drink and he said, he said this right here exactly. Oh yeah, but also this is where Tony Danza also said, your taste buds are gonna thank us later. He's like, have a napkin. He's like, have a napkin, get a drink, and be like the others. Be like the others. And then this is where Humberto Carrillo's like, what? Like, whatever. This is where we got over to the Joe Gacy versus Trick Williams match, which Joe Gacy, I believe, challenged him, or was it Trick Williams? Either way, either man challenged the other into this match, and that's why we got this match in NXT, this week's episode of NXT. This is where Trick Williams fought his act like if he was like if he was a star. And this match did not even last not even lasted for 10 minutes. And then it was a really good match, but it was the shortest match of the night because Joe Gacy, it all started with Joe Gacy flip him over front side first into the canvas, trying to headlock the main man of the NXT champ, the A champ. This is where he started headlock. This is where Vic Joseph also pointed out like he looks possessed into this chokehold. This is when Booker T agree yeah, Joe Gacy is the man, the most dangerous man into this roster in NXT basically. But this is where, but it seemed like he was too dangerous enough to bring down the main man of Carmelo Hayes, because this is where he slammed him right. But this is where he tried to counter it, but Joe Gacy unfortunately slams him right to the back, right to his back through the canvas. This is where he tried to go for a senton, but luckily Trick Williams counters that. This is where, let's see right here. I'm in the left hand ropes corner. This is where he this is where he hits him right to the ropes. This is where Joe Gacy tried to close on him and elbow him. This is where he tried to go for a rebound springboard clothesline. This is where he hits his move, which is this is where Joe Gacy hits him with a. This is where Joe Gacy hits him with a clothesline, but he hits him with a running face planted a running forearm, a flying forearm right into Joe Gacy's face, and he pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. I was like, wow, like he just won that fast. I was like, yeah, he's showing that he's getting pushed. Like whether it being for the NXT Championship, do a friendly one-on-one NXT title match with Carmelo Hayes, because I don't see them splitting up anytime soon, which that would be kind of cringy. But at the same time, we could possibly see. At the same time, we could possibly see. But we could possibly see that match happening later on. But I was like, he could go for the North American title, which we're going to talk about that later on. And this is where he got interviewed by this new NXT backstage interview. This is where. And he was like, he said, like, I whooped ass with both hands. I believe that. And he's like, and then this is where the interview is like, now, no mercy. Like, who do you think is going to win? Do you think that your friend Carmelo Hayes is going to retain his NXT championship? Or is Ilya Dragunov going to become the new NXT champion? This is where Trick Williams like, why are we even having this question and conversation? Like we all know who's going to win. Like, at least I know the first person that particularly knows that he's going to win. And then like, are you talking about my Mega Man, like the A champ? Like, and he was like, hey, look, man, I want to answer your question. Like, Dragunov is hard, but everybody knows that, and everybody knows that my man Melo. And this is where he's like, he's like, but my man Melo never missed. Like, and I'll be a damn fool if I bet against him. So let's see right here. What I mean by him, I'm talking about the NXT champ himself. I think this Trick, like this Trick, he's like in this Trick Mello game, like we always gonna be here. I'm like, yeah, like that's true. Like, and you proved it by beating the likes of Joe Gacy and last week with Drew Gulak, was it? No, it was a couple weeks ago. My bad. But he did beat Drew Gulak. He beat the likes of Drew Gulak and now Joe Gacy. And then what do you think was next for Trick Williams? And I'm gonna let y'all decide down in the comments below between now and the end of the video. But yeah, let's move on to the. And then this is where before he left, this is where he's like, he was like I see Mello with a championship, like, and now it's time for me to get mine. And it looks like that's gonna go forward to that. I believe that's probably gonna go forward to this plan for Trick to earn himself an opportunity for the NXT North American Championship. That's right. He's added. He's the fourth member added into this four-way number one contenders match to replace Mustafa Ali to face Dominic Mysterio at No Mercy at this Saturday. And then he's gonna face the likes of Axiom, Dragon Lee, and even Tyler Bate. And then who do you think is gonna win that match? For those who haven't watched tonight's NXT, like, I'm gonna let y'all decide. I'm not gonna say nothing unless I'm explaining it. But anyways, this is where we move on to the backstage interview with Mackenzie Mitchell now interviewing Blair Davenport about her altercation with what's her name, Gigi Dolan. Would they be going at it, like beating the absolute hell out of each other backstage from the last couple weeks? And this one Blair Davenport. And she was like, well, it was Gigi Feeblit was trying to take me out, but that is more super. Like it'd be like an imitation and factually in general, but like in Gigi's case, it's just pathetic. And when I and it's like when I attack people, they don't get back in their feet. I was like, that's true. I just asked Soruka and Nikita Lyons and what's her name, the Oriental girl that loves sleeping all the time. Wendy Chu, that's what her name is, Wendy Chu. Yeah, this is where he's like, when I got back up, and if this where I got back up, like, and then they forget me. That's whatever that means. And then she's like, you think you got a very beastie, vicious nature? Like, well, meet me and then you can beat me? Well, you can't. Like, if you don't believe me, just watch what I'm gonna do tonight in my match. And up next we have Baron Corbin taking on, I believe, with Josh Briggs, which they got into an altercation last week, which I forgot to talk about on my SNA podcast, which I apologize. I have so much in the mind. I better just keep it down and put it all together in my head. Before I start making this video, of course. This is where Josh Briggs at first was not taking no prisoners, and he was not giving Baron Corbin no chance of fighting. He was doing all the offense all by himself, beating them the absolute beating the edges of hell out of him. This is where he throws him outside. He throws him over the not Barry barricade, out on the announce table, then bury the barricade. He throws him back in the ring. This is where Baron Corbin tried to go for a right hand. This is where he hits Josh Briggs with a right. Josh Briggs hits Baron Corbin with a right. This is where he hits him with a running boot to the face. And then this is where Josh Briggs was looking like a big-time megastar into the the white and yellow brand, because Baron Corbin hardly had a chance of winning. And then this is where he hits a half a Nelson right onto Josh Briggs. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he only got a 2.888.9 second count. And then this is where Baron Corbin was very frustrated, so he's trying to go for a clothesline right into Josh Briggs. This is where Baron Corbin started talking trash and talking trash and mocking Fallon Henley. This is where he tried to go back to his opponent of the match. This is where he landed face first right into the turnbuckle. This is where Josh Briggs hit the sidewalk slam and a standing splash right onto Corbin. This is where he only got a 2.7 count. This is where Booker T was like, oh man, like so close. And then this is where Josh Briggs was wondering what other method to use to defeat the former United States and Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and United States champion and Money in the Bank briefcase holder. This is where he's going right to his direction. Let's see right here. This is where he started hitting forearms and right hands to Baron Corbin like five to 10 times in a row. He boots Corbin right in the face. This is where he tried to go tackle him. This is where the referee went in the wrong place at the wrong time, unless he was paid off by Baron Corbin, because after all, he's have a reputation of bribing his peers. But I'm not sure if he has that kind of money, like nor is Happy Corbin or even the Baron Corbin with JBL as his manager. But he could. Like, I know in real life he could, but on the show, I'm not sure, because why is he on the developmental system if that's not the case? But anyways, this is where he hits him with a forearm right into and he boots him right into the face. This is where, I've already talked about this. This is where, but this Corbin hits the right hand when he attacks. This is where the referee's like, no way. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Like, it's his job to hit a splash right on the Corbin. Like, it looks like he just got paid off by the former Lone Wolf. This is where Baron Corbin goes up on the top rope. This is where he hits him with a flying clothesline right out of the outside. This is where he finally hits the end of days right onto Josh Briggs, and then he got the 1-2-3. I was like, if it hadn't been for the referee, we probably would have saw a close match. Like, and whether if Baron Corbin won, it wouldn't have been with the help of the referee. And I blame the referee here for getting in the way. Well, in kayfabe, of course. But anyway, I blame the referee for being in the way and costing Josh Briggs his match. Justice for Josh Briggs. Who's with me? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I was like, this was very decent. Like, you may need to win because he's in a marquee feud with the former NXT champion himself, Braun Breaker. This is where Baron Corbin had a microphone again post-match. Now where's Braun Breaker at? And this Saturday at No Mercy, he's going to find out that the little doggy is all barking before he bites. I'll buy my past, like, I'll bite my past, and I am the wrestling G-O-D. And then before he could say anything else, this is where Braun Breaker comes right out. This is where they got into a brawl and started. Not G-O-D, the E-O-D. That's what it is. That's what he said, yeah. And this is when Braun Breaker came out and a black long sleeve shirt and some black pants. This is where before they started exchanging argumental words. This is where they started going. This is where they started throwing punches at each other and throwing fists and fighting all over the ring. And this is where they have to have referees and security guards had to break up the fight. But and just to let you know, like, this is gonna be the only time that they got into a brawling altercation. A spoiler alert from that part, but yeah. But yeah, just thought I might let you know that. This is where they show the preview video of vignettes of Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton's feud for over the NXT Women's title. And they're going to face each other in the Women's Championship match at this Saturday's premium live event, No Mercy, for an Extreme Rules match, which I'm hoping that's the main event match. If not, Carmelo Hayes taking on Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship. Let's see what's the next slide. All right. Okay, why is my little source gadget is not working? Being inconveniently defiant. But anyways, where was I? Okay. Okay, let's see. This is where we saw Trick Williams went straight to Shawn Michaels' office, and this is where he said, "You got a minute to? I got some questions to ask you." And this is where Shawn Michaels was like, "Yeah, come on in." This is where they show what's the soundtrack's going to be. It's going to be Ryan Oaks and Loveless, which their song is Heavyweight. It's going to be an exclusive theme music of NXT No Mercy. This is where we saw a vignette of Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton, like I said. And she said she's going to be a better champion than Becky Lynch. This is where they show where she said she's going to be a better champ than Becky Lynch when she was naming the names like former NXT Women's Champion, like the likes of Asuka and Charlotte Flair. And she actually named Becky Lynch as a former NXT Women's Champion, which she haven't won it yet until 2 weeks ago, which was the greatest match of NXT's main event of this year, by the way. Make sure y'all check that out. But anyway, this is where Becky Lynch they show where Becky Lynch challenged her for the NXT Women's Championship, which she did. She won. And that's short and sweet to the point. This is where we move on to this dinner segment. This is where Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo came in and said, "We're going to take those NXT tag titles." This is where Tony D'Angelo's like, "Yeah, that's some message that you gave us." Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and then this is where Channing Stacks Lorenzo was like, speaking of family, and he started pointing right at the doorway. This is where the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius Creed, came in there and joined them for dinner because obviously Tony D'Angelo and Stacks invited them, and then invited them into the dinner room. This is where he's like, "Yeah, and we got everything you like." And this is where Brutus Creed's like, "Yeah, I'm starving, man. Like, what's on the menu?" And he's like, "Did I have a cup double? How you say it in y'all's accent? Like the spicy meatball?" And then he's like, "Yeah." Like the Creed brothers like, "Yeah, absolutely. That's really authentically Italian." Like, yeah. And it is where Julius Creed was like, "We also came here to discuss business," which we already know what kind of business this is referring to. And then this is where he's like, for you to add us and become y'all's opponents for y'all's NXT tag titles at this Saturday's event. This is where Tony Stacks was like, "This hasn't been settled yet, but we can settle something about this while we having dinner." And he's like, and this is where Brutus Creed was being a bit skeptical for Tony D'Angelo being nice like this and generous. Like, he was like, "Are you sure this is not the Last Supper? Like you know, like where you have food and it has poison inside, like poison inside the meal." And then this is where he said it right in front of Humberto Carrillo when he was about to take his first bite into his meal. It looked like he was reconsidering of doing that because Because he thought of what Humberto, not Humberto, what Humberto thought what Brutus Creeps just said. Like he might be onto something. Oh yeah. Oh, you look so cute with your little firefighter hat. Yeah. Fine, I'll tell you. I'll put it on because since I have my reds on, I might as well just. Hey, it's this SNA, the fire chief SNA in this upcoming SNA podcast. Uncle SNA will be there in just a moment. I just gotta finish talking about what happened tonight on NXT. Just wait, just stay right there as soon as I get done. Anyway, this is where and Angel Garza was the same way, looking back at Alberto Carrillo, his cousin, aka. This is where Stacks asked about something about OTW. This is where this is where Tony D'Angelo was like, okay. Wait 1 second. Hey, no, we got the ingredients right up the street. Like it's all edible. Like we can, you can eat as much as you like. Like, Trey, be careful. Wait out in the living room. Uncle SNA will be done in just a moment.
No.
Okay, just go wait out in the living room. I'll be done in just a moment. But anyway, this is where he said. This is where he's like, what about OTW? This is where Tony D'Angelo responded like GOOD. I was like, and then this is when he started spelling the words out together. This is where Tony D'Angelo was like, obviously good, like what I'm saying. And this is where the waitress came in and served everybody their meals. This is where we got a backstage conversation with Tyler Bate and Axiom, which they were talking about who's gonna possibly be Dominic's next number one contender for number one contender at this Sunday. That's not Sunday. I'm always gonna say it's a Saturday's premium live event. That's it. It's like this is where Tyler Bate was like, yeah, like there's the old saying, like. And like I said, just the Creed brothers, man, because Tony D'Angelo and Stacks and Angel and Humberto already got their meals. But anyway, just back to it is the old saying. I know hard feelings out there, Mike. And this is where Axiom like, yeah, I agree. Like I have nothing but respect for you, but you got to understand, like this come out like this every day. We got opportunity with both hands. This is where Axiom also agreed on. This is where we saw Trick Williams coming out of Shawn Michaels' office. And he's like, I just left Shawn Michaels' office, and I'm added to that triple threat match between you two and Dragon Lee in the match. And he's like, this is gonna be triple match. And the triple threat match is gonna turn to a fatal 4-way match. And guess who's gonna? 1 second, Uncle SNA's trying to get done. This is where we got Eddie Thorpe taking on Dijak.
Yeah.
And then let's get short and sweet to the point of this match. This is where Eddie Thorpe started bringing more of the fight in, but bringing the fight in. He took it on the outside of the ring. This is where he throws Dijak back in the ring. This is where he yanks on the side of the rope strap right into the ropes, and he went it face first. And then this is when he started. 1 second. Okay, fine. I'm coming. Okay, just give me for a second. Yeah, I see the tree. The big tree. I see. Just try to get it. Put it out with fire. Uncle SNA got to finish.
No. The big tree.
I see the big tree. Go ahead. Put it out. Okay. This is where Dijak started pulling on Dijak started pulling on Eddie Thorpe's side on the end and try to grab him and hit him with a move that he has upcoming. But Eddie Thorpe countered it and slammed him, tripping him over back first. This is where he started kicking him right into the – he kicked him right in the side. This is where he started throwing some rights and lefts. This is where Dijak started blocking him. This is where he started shoving him right in the face. This is where he boots Eddie Thorpe right into the face. This is where Eddie Thorpe counters. He yanked on the rope, hits Dijak with a flying enziguri, which I have never seen a move like that was well planted and executed like this before. This is where Eddie Thorpe was getting back up. I believe his family was in the front row in the audience. This is where everybody started chanting for Eddie, which why wouldn't you chant for this guy? He's really great. And ever since he's been on WWE's developmental grounds, like he's been bringing nothing but success into his matches. This is where he tried to get him in a back move position. This is where Dijak started elbowing him 2 strikes in a row. This is where Eddie Thorpe was still right on behind him. This is where he started elbowing him right to the back. This is where he started continuously elbowing him into the back of Thorpe's head. This is where Eddie Thorpe Eddie Thorpe kicks the rope strap right where Dijak was holding, try to whip it on into Eddie Thorpe. This is where he kicks him. This is where he hits him with a right through the ropes, not ropes, right to Tina the turnbuckle in the other corner. This is where Eddie Thorpe. This is where Eddie Thorpe started getting back up. This is where he tried to go up and try to hit him with a boot to the face, looking like a haluva kick. This is where Dijak finally slaps him and hits Eddie Thorpe right in the back with the strap. Yeah, the rope strap. This is where he grabs him right in the back of his head. This is where he Irish whipped him right to the corner of the left side of the rope. This is where he started pulling on the rope and throwing him right through the middle ropes, and he crashed it right on the outside, right into the concrete floor, which is the second hardest place in the ringside area, and landed also bumped right into the announcer's table in the process. But anyway, this is where it really brought him back in the ring. They started headlocking him and tying the strap right around his neck, like trying to choke him out to win this match. It kind of reminds me of Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks match, but they had a strap match at All Out, like I believe was like 4 weeks ago almost. But anyway, this is where he started trying to choke him out. This is where, but yeah, back we was he got back up. This is where he started elbowing him. This is where he started hitting him with right hands. This is where Dijak started slap with a right slap. This is where Dijak Irish whips him right to the corner. This is where he tried to throw him right on the other like he did right before the commercial break. Like he tried to do like he did again. This is where Eddie Thorpe counters it. He learned from the second time because you should never do the move like, especially when you do it just recently. Just wait for a second. But anyways, I know you gotta wait for a moment. Can't you see Uncle SNA doing this podcast?
I hate you.
But anyway, this is where he counters. This is where he counters This is where he counters. He throws him. This is where he pulls on the rope. This is where he super kicks him. This is where he closed on him right on the top part of the rope, right on the one side onto the ringside area. This is where because I think both fell under the outside, but they were still standing when they landed. This is where Dijak got him around his neck and choke slammed him right through the hardest part of the ring, which is known as the ring apron. This is when Booker T was like, "Oh yeah!" I was like, "Okay, here we go again. More excited than a homeless man and a hurricane once again." This is where Dijak Irish whips him right into the barricade. and in a punishing manner. This is where he ties them up right onto the ropes. This is where he started trying to make him helpless, like right in front of his family. This is where he started mocking him with him tying Eddie Thorpe with the straps. This is where he started like you can't do nothing about it. You're just here watching the show, and you're too afraid to fight me, even if you try. And this is where he hits him with the whip, which it didn't seem like it hurt that bad. And this is when like a younger relative said, like you did that week, that didn't hurt that bad. Like you just swing like a I would say, but this way to describe like you like they were basically even the younger relatives, like the kids, were like you swing like a baby. And he was like, no, I don't. Like, does this look like a baby? Like, oh, and start swinging him harder onto Eddie Thorpe. I was like, wow, like that's starting to look worse. This is where the little girl, which I'm assuming that's probably Eddie Thorpe's daughter, I believe. This is where he started mocking on to the family. This is where it's like, you better back up, like Eddie Thorpe's gonna get him. And then this is where Eddie Thorpe's daughter's like, come on, get him, daddy. And then this is when Dijak throws Eddie Thorpe right back in the ring. This is where not daughter, it was his niece. But Vic Joseph said it was a 6-year-old niece. My bad. He's like, come on, Uncle Eddie. And then this is where Dijak pulls out his belt, and then he got it right, and he started balling it into his fist. This is where he tries to hit him with a pulling punch right under the belt. And when he tried to attempt to do the maneuver, this is where Eddie Thorpe ducks into the move. This is where he boots right to the face. This is where he grabs onto the strap. He pulls on it, swings right onto the top left corner of the turnbuckle where Dijak is, and hit him with his boot clean, knocking Dijak's head clean right off. Well, not literally right off, but it has knocked his head clean off for the 1, 2, 3, which we saw a happy ending from the. But before he got the win, this is where he started punishing Dijak, started swinging and hitting the whip, getting some revenge and cashing in his receipts sooner rather than later by swinging and beating the absolute mess out of him and making his whole entire body into his upper body around his torso, back, and his chest and his midsection like a butcher shop, basically. Like with him hitting him so hard, it looked like some raw meat. It just landed on his back and his upper body, rest of his upper body, of course. This is where he starts swinging and hitting him and punishing him like if he was spanking a child of his. This is where he starts swinging repeatedly, doing it until there's nothing left into the former T-Bar and Donna McDijakovic. This is where he hit him like once more, and then this is where Eddie Thorpe gets a taste of his own medicine, because he bought out as the same belt that Dijak pulled off his pants. He started balling up in his fist. He pulls Dijak right towards his corner and nails him right in the face with the belt right into his fist, like hit him face first, knocking him. And then not the 1, 2, 3. He hits the elbow drop. He hits his finishing elbow drop for the 1, 2, 3. My apologies for the double false finishes I analyzed, but I connected it up. I said the elbow drop. He pinned it for the 1, 2, 3. He celebrated with his family that attended this show, this episode of NXT. This is when Dijak came out of nowhere and attacked him from behind. This is where he started tying him up right in between the ropes, right into the left-hand corner. This is where he got the exact same belt, started spanking, or not spanking, more like whipping, like if he was a slave, which I believe is going to get a lot of criticism as he's obviously indigenous. Let's hope it don't bring no more bad PR for the former T-Bar, and this is only just because he's a heel, not because of his skin color. Like race has nothing to do with whoever goes in professional wrestling, unless it comes out of their mouth. But that'll be very rare to see. But I doubt that Dijak's racist, despite being a heel. Like, he's just doing his job, playing the heel. And let's hope that WWE just don't make sudden spots like this ever again. I'm just giving you advice, WWE, not trying to tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want. Just give you my honest opinion for not having bad PR and being in a controversial situation. I just recommend to explain yourself. Why did you have them get whiplash with the whip? But yeah, let's hope this doesn't get criticized. I'm saying let's hope it don't get criticized in the rest into the in the internet, especially on YouTube. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this feud in general down in the comments below. Before he hit him with the whip, he also hit him with a GTH like what's his name, Sammy Guevara, but he calls it a different kind of move. I forget the name of it. This is where he hangs him upside down onto the rope and starts whipping him right to his chest and his midsection. This is where his young niece couldn't bear to hear, so she started covering her ears. I was like, poor little lady. Like, I had to witness this of her uncle getting beaten to death. Like, but then again, it's just all part of the script, and he's gonna get his comeuppance once and for all. This is just put over Eddie Thorpe as a future young new star. This is where we go to the backstage into the women's locker room. This is where JC Jane was like, Thea, like, do you have your outfit on? Like, it's been a while. And then this is where Thea Hale was like it looks good, like, because they got into because they were backstage with what's their names, Andre Chase earlier. They were backstage with Andre Chase and what's his name, Duke Hudson. Andre Chase and Duke Hudson for the Duke Hudson for the Duke Hudson for the Duke Hudson, and it was their talking, and then this is where Thea Hale. No, Trey, no, stop it. No, stop. Take this out over here. But anyways, this is where we have Thea Hale came in. Did she try out an outfit? This is where Andre Chase looked like this about to shame her about her the way she's dressed. No, he's not supposed to look for that. No. But anyway, this is where Thea Hale put on her outfit that she got from shopping last week with what's her name, with JC Jane, which we talked about that last week on the SNA podcast on the NXT review part 6. Make sure y'all check that out. But anyways, this is where Thea Hale's like, yeah, like, I thought I might wear something like that. And she was like, surprisingly for you complimenting me for wearing something like this, I'm showing that I'm a grown-ass woman. And they said, let's go. And then this is where JC Jane was like, okay, let's go. I got something that you can. I got something that you can wear for your match tonight against what's her name? Danny Palmer. Yeah, which that's up next. This is where Andre Chase was like, what the hell's happening? This is where Duke Hudson was like, your guess is as good as mine. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with this sudden change with Thea. But anyways, this is where we have the match with Thea Hale taking on Danny Palmer with but before this is where but before we have the match, this is where Blair Davenport came in. This is where she sends a message to Gigi, like she thought, like it wasn't easy that she thought it was it? Like next time you want to play mind games, please. He's like, please do it right now, and the next time, like this time, like, but next time it's gonna be far worse than what it ever was. I was like, whatever that means. Like, why are you sending a message if you're not going to prove a statement by finding Gigi Dolan and proving your statement by saying you could beat her down far worse, and you won't get off the ground. But anyway, this is where we have Gigi Dolan's former tag partner, JC Jane, coming out with our new ally, which is Thea Hale, and this match didn't really last for long either, but I'll say it was like a few minutes longer than the Trick Williams versus Joe Gacy match. Yeah, this is where we have the match. This is where Thea Hale showed why she doesn't need Andre Chase anymore, which I'll say that's unfortunately true because she's doing very well on her own. Well, I should say, some of y'all will be saying what are you saying? What do you mean on her own? Like she's teaming with JC Jane, but I was even though they could possibly be a heel duo, but they're showing she could be a much successful wrestler with or without Andre Chase, and with all due respect for the wrestling professor of his own university. And also, this is a fair fight, a very quick fair fight, but it was still very entertaining. Like when they were trying to go for a leg lock, Danny Palmer countered into a flip. This is where she started grabbing onto her leg. This is where Thea Hale counters out of that. She gets out of it. This is where she tried to attacks Danny Palmer. This is where Danny Palmer knew that she was coming out of nowhere. This is where she slams her right into a headlock position. This is where Thea Hale grabbed her in the arm in an abdominal stretch, kind of a floored abdominal stretch position. This is where Danny kicks up. This is where she tried to go for. This is where she tried to go for a counter. This is where Thea Hale expected that, and she prevented it. This is where she grabbed on her arm, hung on to it, knees it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it cracked her arm in some place, which I would say not entirely, but it had to make something snap, for her to knee it so hard to the point that to make her be in agonizing pain. And this is where we're screaming in agony and agonizing pain. This is where she twists Danny Palmer's arm. This is where she do a backflip. I was like, how's she doing that with her arm being twisted that way? It's like she's not human at all. Here you go.
What
You gotta find some. I'm not sure we're ball. It's ball. This is a ball. Anyways, this is where we got an arm drag from Danny Palmer. This is where we got a wheelbarrow arm drag from Thea Hale. This is where we got flying head scissors with Palmer. This is where Palmer tried to close on Thea Hale. This is where Thea Hale goes for some kind of a Black Widow flying head scissors. This is where she twists. This is where she twists her arm, going for some kind of a armbar Kimura lock, put together with her being on the side of Danny Palmer. This is where she rolls up in the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, but it seemed everything but devastating because when she rolls her up, she barely gets a one count. This is where she hits a running missile drop kick to Thea. This is where she tried to go for a running splat. This is where Thea hits a roll up. It's the Giri. This is where she hits it with an exploder suplex to Palmer. This is where she goes for a pin, but you only got one. She only got two, but Palmer kick out right at 2.666 777777888. This is where it hits. This is where Thea Hale tried to twist her arm. This is where Danny Palmer hits her with a forearm right to the face. This is where Thea Hale got drop kick bombed right in from Danny. This is where she She goes for a cartwheel kick. This is where she hits a. This is where she's trying to go for some kind of a twist and turn corkscrew moonsault. This is where Thea Hale came out of nowhere, flip into a rolling, rolled out of her Danny Palmer's grasp, and then hit the Kimura lock she had it so locked in to the point she had nowhere else to go but the tap. And that's what helped Thea Hale get the win. This is where her and JC Jane embrace. This is when she started doing this, like blowing kisses right at what's his name? Both Andre Chase and Duke Hudson. This is where he started waving at him. I was like, whatever that means. I think it's probably kind of confirmed that we've seen a heel turn from Thea Hale, and she's gonna be in this alliance in a while, and then we're probably gonna see what's to come of her being a part of Chase U, which we're gonna continue to see. That remains to be seen. Like, we probably got a couple more weeks of programming to figure out what exactly is gonna happen next. But yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments below. I believe that it will be. I believe Thea Hale probably will understand the error of her ways, and then she went too far by letting her anger get the better of her by getting forever being angry at Andre Chase. We could see not only Thea Hale be a part of the team, be a part of JC Jane's alliance. We could probably see someone like a Duke Hudson make the two rebellious and cool students of Andre Chase, and then there's gonna be some kind of a feud with Andre Chase with Andre Chase trying to get them to realize this is the horrible decision. That's probably the next the next prediction that I can come up with. But other than that, I just see I just see that Thea Hale's this is gonna be a temporary alliance until she realize what she's doing, and she went too far just because she wanted to get back at Andre Chase for costing her for the NXT Women's Championship. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna move on to Carmelo Hayes was on his phone, getting everything. This is where Trick Williams came into the locker room. He's like, "Oh, Melo, bro, like I'm in the bag now. Like, I'm totally in the bag. Like, I just showed Gacy I'll be champion, and with that Trick, I'm showing the rest of the world now can be the next." And before you had a chance to say be the next North American champion, this is where he's like, "Hey, what are you doing, bro? Like, what's up with you being too focused on your phone for?" And this is where Carmelo Hayes like, "Hey, man, I hear you. I just can't say I know you're going to that fatal 4-way match. You're gonna win that, and you're gonna be the next North American title. Like, I hear you. Like," and he's like, and this is what Trick was like, exactly. Like, that's and what he said, like, he's gonna win on yeah, you did. He's like, yeah, like, I believe, like, you just won against Gacy, and now you got earned yourself a number one contender spot for the NXT North American Championship. And this was like, exactly, like, I'm on the board. Did I win this match tonight? I go to No Mercy, and I'm gonna be Dom for the North American Championship, and this is gonna be my first title shot. Like, don't you believe? Hey, what's up, bro? Like, you should be more excited than this. And he's like, hey, man, like, I'm listening to hear you, but I got some very contract signing and Ilya, and I'm like, I handle this. I hope you understand. Like, I'm not trying to shrug you off, like, but I hope you understand. Like, I'm busy with my thing with Ilya tonight, later on tonight, for the contract signing, and yeah. And he's like, okay, like, yeah. I got my own business I got to take care of, too. Like, here's what Carmelo Hayes starts there, like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, it's probably nothing, but, like, it could be tease that they could go after one another NXT title, but I hope that'll be hold off and postponed. I don't want to say postponed. They'll hold that off for another scheduled time. But yeah, this is where we finally do get the fatal 4-way match, and it lived up right in the high expectation because it said like according to that BWE report, like when that Wrestling Insider guy that saw the list of replacements that WWE is replacing with Mustafa Ali following his unfortunate release last Thursday. They're gonna have a replacement with the likes of Tyler Bate, Trick Williams, Axiom, and Dragon Lee. But we're gonna talk about this was mostly Axiom, and the highlight goes to Axiom and Tyler Bate for bringing on plenty of entertainment in the matches. This is where Axiom try to go for a roll up to Tyler Bate. This is where he hits him with a German suplex, looked like a Nelson suplex. This is come in. This is where he kicks him right in the midsection. This is where he grabs onto his hand, try to go for a springboard drag and then grabs Dragon Lee between his legs and hit him with a flying head scissors while he arm tracks Trick Williams out of the ring. This is where we went back to the one half of the former Mustache Mountain. This is where he kicks him right in the midsection. He Irish whips Dragon Lee right into the corner. This is where he tried to hit him. This is where Axiom hits a flying head scissors right into what's his name? Tyler Bate into right through under Trick Williams' arms. This is where Axiom hits a clothesline to Trick Williams to make Trick Williams do a DDT right into Tyler Bate. This is where he tried to go for a pin to Tyler Bate. This is where what's his name came for the save after Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee Irish whips Axiom right to the corner. This is where he drop kicks the knee strike. This is where he hits a springboard drop kick right into the face of Axiom. This is where he goes drop kicks Trick Williams right on the side. This is where he does the same with Axiom. This is where he's trying to close on Tyler Bate, but he ducks. He goes for a head dipped through the ropes rebound clothesline. But this is where Dragon Lee counters into a rolling up flip sit-out powerbomb, a layout sit-out powerbomb, which he tried to go for a one, he tried to go for a two, but both Trick Williams and Axiom stopped him right on time, like jumping right on top of him. This is where made Vic Joseph even chuckled and laughed. And he was this is they came right on time. And we're gonna see at the end of this match who's exactly gonna be the alpha male and going to in the number one contenders for the NXT North American Champion. This is where Axiom going up with the top rope to Trick Williams. This is where he uppercuts Axiom. This is where he body slams Tyler Bate when he ran to his way. This is where Trick Williams starts stomping onto the former NXT UK champion. This is where he lifts up with his arm. This is where he grabs him into a Uranagi position. This is where he hits both of them in a double Uranagi position, looking like the hangover slam what Booker T used to do along with the scissors kick back in the day. But this is where he not the hangover, the bookend. That's what he called it, the bookend. But yeah, he hit the double Uranagi slams right on both Dragon Lee and Tyler Bate. We pinned both of them, but they both kicked out. This is where he lifts up Tyler Bate. This is where he tried to pick him up and try to. This is where he tried to go for a suplex right onto the Mustache Mountain Man. This is where he counters into a DDT. This is where Tyler Bate goes up and do the spinning fireman's carry right onto Dragon Lee. That's who it was. He was doing it too. He was hitting the fireman spin right around, spinning right around the middle of the ring, looking like he was preparing for takeoff, like if he was a human helicopter. This is where Axiom came in, interfered, and tried to go for a roundhouse kick. This is where he ducked, and he got him into a swinging position like the Cesaro swing. Because he started spinning both Dragon Lee and Axiom by having Axiom in his hands and had Dragon Lee on top of his shoulders. And he hits him with what's the name with a German suplex after that, Dragon Lee. This is where Trick Williams tried to throw him on the outside, but he caught the ropes with his arm, hit a rebound clothesline right into the Trick Williams. This is where he's gonna try to go for a pinfall, but this is where referee counted the 2, but Axiom stomped right onto Tyler Bates' back and hit a most amazing. And hit the most amazing, what's that called? Dragon Lee. This Dragon Lee stomp on, what's his name's back? Tyler Bate. That's what it was. He stepped on Tyler Bate back when he hits the rebound clothesline along with a pinfall. And then he hits no, it was Axiom. He stomped on Tyler Bates' back and hits a most incredibly amazing Canadian destroyer I've ever seen from a professional wrestler, like along with the Young Bucks, which I believe the Young Bucks did a move like this before. And I wonder if this was a nod to the brother wrestlers. But this is where he called him a Canadian driver, but same difference. Vic Joseph said. This is when all the superstars were down. This is where Trick Williams and Tyler Bate started slowly but surely getting back up. And this is when the fans start saying, "This is awesome. Clap, 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 clap. This is awesome." I'm like, yeah, you darn right this is awesome. I'll say second match. If not, oh no, we'll say number 1 match, which I would say the UK, or not UK, NXT Heritage Cup trophy is I'll say the number 2 match of the night. I'll say not in the bad way, but I'm saying the second. So I'd say the second match of the night. While this is the number 1 match of the night with Trick Williams taking on Trick Williams in this number 1 contenders match against Axiom and Tyler Bate and Dragon Lee. This is where we try to see roundhouse movement like kick right onto Tyler Bate, but Tyler Bate caught his leg. This is where Tyler Bate put it right back down. This is where he hit him with the stop sign knockout. Like we had the right hand up and he hit him with a striking left. I was like, wow, that was very I would say shocking, but I would say wow, that was very I would say out of the blue. Like we did the stop sign punch, but you can do that move. You just had to hit a certain button for that on 2K23 and 22. But yeah, this is where Trick Williams tried to throw him out and for good. But he's like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna, like, you know what? He throws him and he starts swinging right to the ropes. This is where he hits him with a flying hooking uppercut, like which was very perfectionate, by the way, from Trick Williams. And I say, and this will make me say maybe he's right about the catchphrase of him having the gift, the gab, and the gift, the jab. And this is where Axiom came in for a super kick. This is where he tried to super kick. This is where he tried to super kick Dragon Lee. But Dragon Lee grabbed him. He hit him and he's swinging around, hitting Trick Williams face first. He had him. He crashed down. This is where Axiom rolled. Axiom tried to run up to what's his name to Dragon Lee. He lifts him up. He right onto the top. Right off the top rope on the top left corner of Tina the turnbuckle. He super kicks him. He crashed right down to the back to the canvas. This is where Dragon Lee get ready to go for his finishing super kick. His outstanding finishing super kick. This is where Dragon Lee was getting ready to hit his, or I guess it's probably a signature move, but here's his finisher when he was going up to the top rope, doing his finisher. But before he had a chance to fly, this is where Tyler Bate hits him with an intercepting Insta-Giri kick. This is where he goes up right on the top rope. This is where this is where you got Dragon Lee right into the head. This is where Axiom joined in and he tried to double team, but he was like, you know what? Like, I don't need to double team. He kicks Tyler Bate right out of the way. This is where Dragon Lee tried to go for a Spanish fly. Axiom tried to go for the Spanish fly right into Dragon Lee, which That's what he did. This is where he pins him right after Rob the top rope. He was with one. He went for a two. This is where he kicks out at the last second at 2.999. This is where the fans were like, "Holy shit!" And they were chanting like, "Holy shit, holy shit!" But at a couple times they didn't censor it out until they were doing it like over a dozen times. Like, yeah, they started censoring out after the third "Holy shit" chants. And this is where even shocked Vic Joseph. He was like, "Wow!" He literally just he literally kicked out somehow, some way. And this is where Axiom and Dragon Lee start looking face to face at one another. This is where it's like it's not over yet. Like this is where he trying to close on Dragon Lee. He twisted Axiom's arm. He hits him, trying to hit him with a flying head scissor DDT, like a flipping flying DDT. This is where Dragon Lee got interrupted by Trick Williams by coming for the save. This is where Trick Williams hits him with a right hand. Or it was like a sliced bread DDT. That's what Dragon Lee did. This is where Trick Williams But I think they went headbutt face first on one another, which that legitimately knocked each other out. This is where Trick Williams bounced back, knocks out Tyler Bate, falls right into the concrete, right through the concrete floor. He landed right on the Axiom, and he got the 1, 2, 3. I was like, he literally just got the win. Like, wow. And then when he got back to consciousness, I literally did this. And this is when Vic Joe's like, Williams, like, he literally just did it. We're going to see Trick Williams taking on Dominic Mysterio for his North American title. And this is when fans start chanting like, pull that trick, pull that trick, pull that trick. I was like, he literally just done it. Like, wow. And I was not sure he was going to win. Like, I would expect some kind of a rematch with Dragon Lee. And speaking of Dragon Lee, there's going to be plenty more about him, between him and Dominic, but we're going to talk about that just a moment. But and it is where Trick Williams told you, like, I could earn myself an opportunity that of a lifetime, like, and he did, which we're going to finally see him get his first ever NXT and even WWE title opportunity which is for the North American title at the NXT exclusive pay-per-view. And what do you think? Do you think that Trick Williams have what it takes to become the North American champion, or do you think he's going to just come up just a little bit short against Dominic Mysterio? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Let's move on to the back to this the segment, which we have the former Reginald, which now he's going by Scripps, even though I don't know why, because he's not wearing his luchador mask. But anyways, this is where he came in with his associates, which is Lucius and Bronco, which that's their last name, of course. And he's like, "You're finally." And this is where Tony D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo was like, "Yeah, you finally make it." Like, I thought we would. Because, yeah, this is when everybody started eating their dinner. This is where, yeah, he's like, I thought you would impress us. Why you didn't? He's like, hey, this is not a joke. You take y'all seats at the table. And you must have woke up and after. You know, we're going to, what he said about Scripps, let's see right here. He's like, I didn't take that. He said, you must wake up after. That's what he said. Like, you know what? We're going to get a booster sleep for our buddy Scripps right here. And that's what had a huge laugh out of it, because everybody started cracking up like, oh, like, did he really have had a crow on him like that. Like, yeah, he just did. I was like, I mean, it's unfortunately true that he's short, obviously, but he went on crowing beast mode on that punchline. That's when everybody started laughing. The Creed brothers, Los Lotharios, like Luke, Lucius and Broncos, Bronco and Lucius were up being a pinpoint away from doing the same. But this is when they started realizing like they're making fun of Scripps. Like we're not gonna let you appreciate. We're not disrespect our man like that. And then this is where Scripps was like, it's all cool, bro. Like everything's fine. I bought cheese for these rats anyway. I was like, don't tell me that's some kind of a racist joke of him for the fact they're Italian and some Italians love cheese with their food. And he's like, and this is where he's like, I bought cheese for the mice anyway. This is where Tony D'Angelo didn't take in because that was some sort of a racist joke. Like what they it's one thing for them to make fun of somebody for being short, but that's just referring that you're a child. It's supposed to be some kind of a minor joke. Not trying to say that you're from. He's not saying that you're from Africa and you are and do some kind of some tribalism rituals like they do over there. Like it's not like he said something like that. So it didn't make any sense for calling him a rat and say he brought some cheese, which that's probably some kind of it could be some kind of a racist slur if he didn't choose to use the term carefully and cautiously. He could be called out for saying a line like this. But what y'all thought about that? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is when it's like we didn't came to break with none of y'all. Like we came. This is where we. And then he's like, yeah. And then this is where Brutus Creed just came out of nowhere randomly said, and then those meatballs were really the bomb. Like they were really delicious. Like this is where it was like, yeah. And this is where Stax was like, yeah, this is our little hospitality right here for we discuss business when it comes to our conversation on who's going to be our number one contenders. And why am I speaking in this Italian accent? Even though I might be part that culture, but I'm not only that culture. But anyway, yeah, that's a story for another day. But anyway, back to the point about this interview. This is where Humberto Carrillo's up. But seriously, out of us three teams, like there has to be one of us to pick out of us. Like, and this is where Brutus Creed agreed on that. He was like, yeah, like you have to pick one of us. Or which one's gonna be? Who's gonna be? Because no one can remember the last time y'all won was. And it was like, when was the last time y'all won? Like, when y'all's match? Like, when y'all were. Okay. Yeah, that's when Creepers. That's when the Creepers like, yeah, it should be us because when the last time you two boys won the match, the Los Lothar. I said before y'all had y'all's, which is referring to them being repackaged. Like before or after y'all's little thing y'all's thing with y'all's grandfather. And this is where Angel Garza was like, we're too busy. Like yeah, but at least we didn't need to pray to get our jobs back. And then this is where Brutus Creed corrected Angel Garza, saying like pray to get our jobs back. No, we didn't just need to pray to get our jobs back. Okay. And like, not pray, like y'all winning the cage matches to get praying to get your job back. Not pray. I mean, get the cage. My bad. Yeah, get the cage. Like we didn't just do any old cage matches to win a match. Like unless you all wanted to be in a cage match to fight. And this is where Brutus is like, do anybody got another chicken dish? And this is where Julius Creed slapped him upside the head, like, not now. And then this is where he's like, come on, like, this man. He's like, and this is really, And this is really tremendous. Like Mom's cooking wasn't not even this good. And then this is where Julius Creed corrected him. He's like, of course, Mom's cooking was really good. He's like, sorry, he's like, that's all right. And then this is where, Scripps called out the NXT Tag Team Champions with saying. And then this is where it's like, you're disrespecting us. Like, you're not going to mention my boys, Luke and Alicia or Lucius. Y'all let me know down in the comments how it's pronounced. I think it's Alicia and Bronco's names, like, to be number one contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Like, what kind of segment is this? Like, if y'all want a match so bad, like, why not discuss it by over a triple threat match? Like, see who's going to win the match and who earns a spot to be a number one contender for the double strap NXT titles. But anyway, this is where, like, it is what it is. Like, hopefully it's an entertaining tag match. But anyway, this is where we'll walk in California. And this is where Scripps was like, we need some new blood in this division. Like, we're not gonna go cakewalking in California. And then this is where Tony D'Angelo started roasting what's his name? Started roasting Scripps even more because he said, now he's the mind reader now, huh? I was like, this is the most goofiest segment of the night, like, and goofiest wrestling of the night, in NXT. I'm putting it as number one. It is the goofiest wrestling of the night. This is where Angel Garza was like, we call it cake boy. And then this is when Brutus Creed started being excited. Like, wait, did he say cake? Like, are we gonna have cake for dessert? And then this is where Julius Creed was like, not now. Like, that's not what they meant. Like, they meant, if anybody wants to see Tony Stark versus the Creed brothers, he's like, how about we do it like this? Like, this is where Julius Creed's like, how about it would be the Creed brothers against Tony and Stacks for the NXT Tag Champion, like former champs versus current, the former champs versus the current champs. Like, how about that's fine with me. And then this is when Misha and Bronco was like, we've been dominating this tag division ever since we got here. So if anybody needs to want to shout out our tag titles, like, it should be definitely us. And then they also said, let's see right here. This is where they start seeing some intensity between the Creed brothers and Leisha and Bronco. This was Tony D'Angelo snap his finger with his bodyguard, saying, and this is when Scripps' boys were like, I didn't know he was really real like that. And this is where Tony D'Angelo's like, sit down, calm down, and everybody just shut up. Like, well, we thought, and this is where chanting Stacks Lorenzo was like, this is how we're going to do in order to settle things between the three of you teams. Like, we're going to make some good, we even make some good cases. This is the first time to fit in our PLE. You put your face, we took it easy. Like, y'all took it and make it easy. Like, no, like, we want to see all three of you among and no mercy. And if you don't like it, here's the door. Like, you can leave right now. And it looks like none of them will want to leave just right away. Like, they're not going to turn down a deal to become the NXT Tag Team Champions, an opportunity to be NXT Tag Team, to be the exact. And he was like, I didn't think so about that. Like, pick up your baby beverages and pick up your fake beverage and take a toast to the Fatal 4-Way. So for all of us. And I was like, I kind of knew this was going to turn into a Fatal 4 because that it's possible that they're not going to do a no more contenders match. They can do it in any other way. So I think it's for the best for them to just do it this way, like of making it into a fatal four-way match with Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo defending their NXT tag team title in their first premium live event title defense against the Creed brothers, the what's their name, the Los Lotharios, and Lisa, what's her name, Lisa and Bronco, that's what their names are. But who do you think is going to win? Do you think Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo are going to successfully defend the title? We're going to have a new championship. And if you think if they have a new champion, then who could it possibly be? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next is the backstage interview with. This is where Dominic Mysterio is like Shawn Michaels just throwing me a curveball, and I cannot believe it. And he was like, and I shouldn't be having the Saturday night off, but no, I'm gonna have to defend my title once again 5 days later. But no matter, I'm gonna whip that Trick Williams ass, and I'm gonna just like I did with Dragon Lee last night at Raw. And he was like, and P.S. for you, Mr. Lee, like thanks for the black eye. And he's like, you need to understand, you don't run NXT. Like, I run NXT, and on Saturday, I'm going to whoop Trick Williams and destroy Trick Williams. And I'm going to, like I did with Dragon Lee. This is when Dragon Lee came in and struck him with a couple of lefts and rights. And then this is where this is where Dragon Lee was like, said something in Spanish like you did not beat me, like you did not beat me, like, and you're not finished off with me. And this is when the referees had to hold him back and take him back to his locker room. And speaking of referees, like not only we're gonna have Trick Williams taking on the current North American champion Dominic Mysterio for the strap, we're gonna see him take. You're going to see him in a match with him where Dragon Lee is the special guest referee. And yes, sir, he's the special guest referee in the No Mercy North American title match. And do you think that Dragon Lee's going to help? He's going to help Trick Williams win the title, or is he going to be unsure about that, or he's going to in a fair manner, and then Dominic Mysterio going to be lucky somehow he's going to retain, probably with or without Dragon Lee counting the 3 count. But we could possibly see Trick Williams winning the championship, and just to have him have the championship just because he wants an opportunity of being a champion like his best friend Carmelo Hayes, and have his own business going on. But yeah, y'all let me know what the outcome's probably going to be like in y'all's prediction down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the contract signing segment where Carmelo Hayes celebrating a bit with Trick Williams saying, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like yeah, like you know what I'm opportunity. Look, Trick, like No Mercy, you and I, we both going to be wearing nothing but gold. Like, yeah. And he's like, we all is gonna be here. Like, you already know, like Trick Mello game. And then this is where Carmelo Hayes went out to the ring. This is where Ilya Dragunov took. This is where Carmelo Hayes. This is what Ilya Dragunov's like. What do you want to talk about before we just sign? And we don't need to talk about anything. We just need to sign, just kind of make it official, and we're gonna have this final match with one another for this NXT title at this time. Like, so we might as well just get it over, sign these contracts and get it over with, and I can show, and then we can make this official. And then this is where Ilya Dragunov was like, well, like, I just don't want to admit the fact that that I'm going to be the NXT Championship at the end of this night at No Mercy. And then this is where Carmelo Hayes was like, wait, no. Like this is the wrong person at the wrong time. You're like Great American Bash, like still remembering that. I don't know if we're going to go down like that. Like I didn't throw that shot. But Ilya, like it was what it was. I didn't walk in Great American Bash to think I was going to beat you. Like now I'm walking into No Mercy knowing that I'm going to beat you and I will going to beat you. And this is when Ilya Dragunov responds like, see, Carmelo, like you just. And what he said right here is like, he's like, I know, and then I'm going to beat you. Now I will beat you. And this is when Ilya Dragunov was like, you see, Melo? Like, you just explained to yourself to me that hurt, right? And then I clearly can see that when that struggle on the outside of your comfort zone, your own confidence, and in that mercy, you shall be that real unbearable feel, the thing where dragon spit on the fire. And this is when Carmelo Hayes interrupts, like, wait, whoa, what are you saying? Like, what are you talking about? Are you saying like with my confidence? Like the first time ever I struggled with my confidence, which smalls me, and I check myself after that and correct myself. And then you talking about unbearable pain? Unbearable pain. American Bash, and when everybody here knows that you did not, I was like, yeah, that's very obvious. Like, or else he would be NXT champion. He'll be holding that title if he beat Melo. Like, even though it was a complete freak accident, like, well, there won't be no more excuses at this Saturday's event because there will be no interference. There won't be no shenanigans or no miscommunication. It's gonna be man to man, face to face, mano a mano, like, and for the NXT championship. But anyway, this is where Ilya Dragunov was like, these people, they know, and then deep inside yourself, you know as well that I did on Saturday, this is gonna be my place, and I know, like let's start. Like I'm not talking about some kind of prophecy. I'm talking about destiny that's waiting to happen. Now I'm going to ask a question right here. What do you do? Or where you throw every single you have if they have me, and I don't. Now I'm not standing there, and you're like, wait. And what would you do when you shoot your best shot and then you missed? And he's like, "Did you have permission to answer these questions?" And this is when Carmelo is like, "Well, the reality is that being NXT champion is not about you can the pain you're enduring, and it's not about these what do you say? The reality is being NXT champion is not about how much pain you can endure, and it's not about how much veins you can make pop out of your head. It's all about being undeniable and being him. And this is where Ilya drops like, okay, that's true. And then he's like, and another thing that I can tell you, Ilya, I'm not one of these guys that you beaten before. Like, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not like what he named. Like he's like I'm not Wesley. Like I'm not Ora Menza. I'm not Trick Williams. And or before he got a chance to say Trick, before he said Williams, he said Trick, and he stopped himself. He's like, oh, and this when Ilya tried to, wow, you literally just say that. And this is when Carmelo's like, I know. But listen, I will be the one to push you to your limits in NXT and No Mercy because I'm the NXT champion. I can reason, and I know what ifs and what is and what ifs. This is where Ilya Dragunov stand up and look like he was about to get into a brutal altercation with the champ. This is where he he opened the page and signed the contract with Melo doing it soon after. And this is when Ilya Dragunov finally speaks and said his final words, saying like, you will do nothing because you can't do nothing, in a psychotic, screaming manner. I'm fed. I am fed up of opportunities like this slipping through my fingers, and so you want to push me to my speed limit and to my limits? Go ahead, go and do it, because everything you find there is going to not be a nightmare that you won't forget for the rest of your life. And he's like, and when I be crowned as the new NXT champion, you will realize that your desires have fallen. Long live the czar. Like, okay, whatever that means. And that's when Carmelo Hayes inked the paper into the contract and it made it official. Like it's gonna be NXT champion. Is when Melo was like, now that I signed this contract, I want you to understand something right here. This NXT championship is bigger than you and I. Like, when I carry this championship, it represents it's the beginning of someone that looks exactly like me. Like the only one started to shot in the dark and went in. Do I think you can be NXT champion and carry this whole responsibility? Like, absolutely. But do I think that you can do it better than Carmelo Hayes? And he's like, absolutely not. And that's when he dropped the mic, hold on to the championship right in Ilya's face, like which NXT nearly ended in that manner, but it didn't end it until Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker were still in the brawl. They continued it backstage after the security broke them up the first time when they took that break, and then now they attacked him with the silver SUV. He hit him right to the backside of the SUV. Breaker right to Trick Williams right to the backside. This is where he tried to spear him off right through the. That's where he tried to spear him right through the front door of the SUV. This is where Corey Graves, his best friend Baron Corbin, moved right out of the way before he had a chance to go. This is where he hits it and probably bruised every single part of his body, like including his head and arms. And then it nearly knocked the door right off the hinge. This is where Baron Corbin hits him right into the front part through the back part of the SUV. This is where they took it back in the inside in the backstage area. This is where he tried to throw a fire extinguisher right into Braun Breaker's face. He ducks. He spears him right into Shawn Michaels' office. This is where Shawn Michaels is like, what the hell you did with my wall office? Like this is getting more intense, seriously intense, and making it more bigger. Like bigger, it is bigger than when he hit Von Wagner with the steel steps, sandwiching him right into the head, which it didn't really hit him. It didn't even touch him. Like if it did, it only tapped his head. When it probably split his head open, but it didn't know bad damages like I said in the storyline probably. But hopefully he recovers from that and it makes a soon quick recovery from that. But yeah, I would say I'll give tonight's NXT short and sweet to the point. It was short and sweet to the point. It was quick. It was very entertaining. It came and gone. It was just like a pass by typical NXT episode. So I would give it 4, even though I've been given too much of 4 stars out of the 5. Like for like 3, I'll say like 3 times in a row lately in wrestling reviews, but it's for a good reason. But it's for a good reason why I give 4 stars, because there was so many great matches. Like even with Trick Williams is getting the push of a lifetime and finally being shown that he's no longer not Carmelo Hayes' hype man and sidekick. Like, he wasn't even a sidekick even before he started getting opportunities like this, and I hope he does win. So the Trick and Mello gang have both gold around their waist, which is the NXT and the NXT North American Championship. And what do you think the outcome's going to be for all the matches, like from Becky Lynch taking on Tiffany Stratton, Carmelo Hayes taking on Ilya Dragunov, Trick Williams taking on Dominic Mysterio with Dragon Lee as the special guest referee, and then we have Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo defending their NXT Tag Team against what's his name? Lucius and Bronco, and then and the Creed brothers and Los Lotharios for the NXT Tag Team Championship. But yeah, y'all let me know all about that down in the comments below. This is gonna be how you rank tonight's NXT. If y'all had a review, I would love to hear that from y'all's opinions. And yeah, and I believe that this episode, the 48th episode of the SNA podcast, has come to a close. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And if you did, please give me a huge thumbs up, comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell notifications so you can be uploaded so you can be notified when I upload my upcoming videos and more of my videos from the past couple of weeks and from the past month that's already out there on my YouTube channel at Super Ninja Austin 213. And then I'm also going to have episode 49 of the SNA podcast. It's going to be the AEW Dynamite review less than 24 hours from now. It's going to be the AEW Dynamite review part 7. Make sure y'all check that out. And I'll see you all there. I hope y'all have a great night. As always, keep watching. And Super Ninja Austin, the Assassin, is out.